Mahindra is outworking the field. Head to your local dealer now to get great deals on these all-new tractors.
Visit your Mahindra dealer at Zaremba Equipment in Gaylord or online at zarembaequipment.com or Pioneer Diesel in Traverse City or pioneerdiesel.com.
To get ahead of lead and improve your drinking water quality, use a lead-reducing water filter if your home has or may have lead plumbing, a lead service line, or faucets older than 2014. Keep water moving with everyday activities like laundry, dishes, or showers. Before drinking or cooking, run your tap until water is cold. Clean faucets aerators every 6 months. Learn more at michigan.gov/getaheadoflead. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
When disaster strikes, like the 2025 ice storm, that's when you breathe a sigh of relief that you have a great insurance company like Cornell Insurance in Grayling. They live in your community and know what you're going through. Do you really want to speak with someone on the phone thousands of miles away in some call center that doesn't even know what's happened in your area? Cornell Insurance, friendly, knowledgeable, and most importantly, local in your community. Over 100 years of serving you. Stop by our office on Huron Street in Grayling.
It's time for the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show on Up North Sports Radio with your host, Rich Calkins.
It is time for the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, and we are brought to you in part by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Dedicated to providing the best customer service and the best offers, JimWernigChevrolet.com. Rich Calkins and the Roadrunner in with you this morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Good morning. Good to have you in, Roadrunner. We appreciate you jumping in here for JC. And first off, we've got a first-time participant here with the Scoreboard Show. We have Jason McIntyre, the head coach of the Mount Pleasant Oilers. And, Coach, we appreciate you joining us. And it looks like you had a close ball game in that 10-0 win over Midland last night.
Yeah, we sure did. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the chance to talk high school football any chance I get. Yeah, we did. We've and you guys saw us, I think, we've been sputtering a little bit on offense the last few weeks, but our defense has been outstanding. And the Midland Mount Pleasant game is, in my 20 years as head coach, I think is kind of our rivalry game. And I don't think there's been very few years where it hasn't been decided by at least one or two scores. So we're always happy to come out with a win in that game. And it was quite an interesting game. I think Midland had 9 plays in the second half, and we had two drives over 8 minutes long. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, Coach. Again, like you said, anytime you pitch a shutout, Midland's got some athletes over there. That's a good job by that defense for sure. Offensively, you go into the game, you're averaging over 35 points a game. So obviously Midland brought their A game on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, we really some of the things we've done well this year in making some big plays in the passing game and different things. We weren't clicking. A lot of the credit goes to Midland changing up some things from what they've done. But so we kind of got old school and just started running the ball, and that's probably what kept we had a 9-minute drive to end the half that led to a field goal. So we went up 3-0 going into half, and then like I said, our defense was outstanding. I think I saw the stats. Midland had 9 plays total in the whole second half, and we had our game-winning drive was probably another 8-minute drive, 3 or 4 yards at a play. So it was kind of different, kind of an old school type game, but that's what you got to do in high school football is find a way to win.
Right. Hey, Coach, it's good to win those tight ball games like that as well. It shows that the kids didn't get nervous in a tight ball game, and they were able to still win instead of blowing some teams out that you've done a few times this year. It shows they can win close games, and also they can put it on some teams when they need to.
Yeah, and you have to be able to, as I said, the thing that I'm happy about with this team is that we've found different ways to win, and that's what you have to do, and especially as you're trying to make a playoff run. So we had to make some adjustments and some changes from some things maybe we had done to move the ball in the past, and we were able to do that. So I kind of challenged the guys at halftime to be a little more physical on the offensive line because that's been kind of maybe our weak point this year at times, and I thought they responded pretty well. So, but like I said, I mean, I think someone told me a stat going in this game with Midland is, I think in the 20 years here in Mount Pleasant. I think our total combined score over those 20 years is like 512 to 490 something. So I mean,
oh, wow.
these games have came down to last second field goals, last second plays so many times over my career. So just to find a way to win against Midland is really big for our program. For sure.
And conditions were a little bit better last night, Coach, than they were the week before when Traverse City West went down there.
Yeah, they were. It was a beautiful football night. Absolutely beautiful football night.
Yeah, because we had a game over at Bay City Western last night, and very similar, weather, obviously. And so, yeah, it was just a great night for high school football.
Yeah, sure was, and that's a big win for Traverse City West. I mean, the cornfield's a tough place to go play, and
it is.
It sounds like they did what they wanted to last night, so it's a big win for them.
Yeah, Jason, now I also wanted to talk to you real quick. Not only are you the head coach at Mount Pleasant, you've developed such a great program there, but also you're the president of the Coaches Association. Why don't you talk about that a little bit and what your role is as the president of that?
Yeah, one of the best decisions I ever made as a football coach was to get involved in our Coaches Association many years ago, just as a regional director. And I've met so many really good friends and got to collaborate at a state level on all things high school football, and kind of work my way up through the ranks. And this past year, I was named president of the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association. We have thousands of well over 1,000 members and statewide, and we're really proud of the things we're trying to do to promote high school football, whether it's development of coaches. Like we started an LDA, a Leadership Development Alliance, a few years ago, where we're working with young and upcoming head coaches and getting them, mentors and in front of experienced coaches to help develop them. And then just things we're doing to promote the game, whether it's our athletes at the state level with all state teams and all region teams that we started to do that. As you guys know well, we won't pretend like we're that old, but when we were playing ball back in the day, you'd have to open up a newspaper on Saturday and read all the scores and see all the pictures and see all the great stories about the game. And unfortunately today, the boys don't really have quite that. They have social media and different things, but so we're doing things, trying to find unique ways to promote our game and promote what our athletes are doing at the state level.
Yeah, Coach, I've been in calling high school sports for 17 years now, and to see it going purely from a radio product, and now we're doing video, we're live streaming to Facebook, and then they get downloaded to YouTube, and so the games are basically on TV for the kids and all that, so they can go back, and we're getting 3,000 views on some of our games. It's pretty crazy, the evolution of how these games are now broadcast.
Yeah, it is. And as you guys know, being down our place, we've got our tech center's got an awesome group of kids that are, going into that now, and they produce these games, and they get into it. They're out there setting up at noon on Fridays, and it's a cool deal that we have to adjust to and with what we're doing. Yeah,
Coach, we were in the booth right next door to your student-run program there, and listening to those kids do play-by-play and color analysis, and say, you've got some real talent there at Mount Pleasant. Those kids, we're going to see those guys hitting the big time here for sure.
Yeah, it's a great program. They do a great job at our tech center. In fact, I've even hired a couple of those guys to do PA for varsity baseball games and those kind of things. They do a great job.
Yeah. Coach, you have, to close out the regular season, you have Ypsilanti Community, probably a team not a lot of people in northern Michigan know about, but they're sitting at 3-5. What do you know about those guys?
Well, yeah, we're kind of in the same boat. It's a really interesting situation. A little, we kind of lost our, in the middle of a home and home with Linden. There's some things that got shook down and kind of the contract got reworked, and we were scrambling to find a game. And so through a long series of phone calls, emails, connections, and who do you know and who has a game and whatnot, we were able to connect with Ypsilanti. Don't know a lot about their program. They've had success up and down over the years down there. And I think it's a great opportunity for our team. I told the guys last night, it kind of has a playoff feel for it because you're going into a place you've never been before. Our program's never been there. You're going into a team you've never played before. So there's all these unknowns. I mean, we know what we're going to get when we come up to Thoroughby Stadium. We know what we're going to get when we go to the cornfield. We know what we get when we go into the Community Stadium. So this unknown is a lot like when you travel for a playoff game when you might have an unknown opponent. So it's a good primer as we head into the playoffs. And, it's going to take some mental toughness. That's why I told our guys, we're going to get out of school early, all these things we're not used to doing. And so we have to prep for that and a team that we've never played before. But they're going to be fighting for their playoff lives. They're right on the bubble. And obviously a win over us would put them in. So we're going to get their absolute best shot. I know that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Jason, I know you have a tight schedule this morning. You're also the athletic director down there at Mount Pleasant, so you're always very busy. We truly appreciate you taking a few minutes with us on the Scoreboard Show, and I hope to have you on here in the near future.
All right. I appreciate talking ball with you guys, Rich, and you guys are awesome for everything you guys do for football.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Jason
Yep.
McIntyre from the Mount Pleasant Oilers. Thank you.
Just like Northern Michigan High School athletes, Saab relies on trust, drive, and expertise. Those are the values it takes to have a winning season, and the same values that power Saab's mission, keeping people and society safe. Hi, I'm David Howley, Project Manager for Saab in Northern Michigan. Saab is dedicated to being a responsible neighbor, a reliable employer, a steward of the environment, and a proud supporter of Northern Michigan High School athletics. Saab in Northern Michigan.
Need serious work trucks at serious savings? Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord has you covered. Right now, get a 2025 Silverado 2500 HD with a Redding service body for just $61,867. Or step up to a 2025 Silverado 3500 HD regular cab with a 9-foot dump body for only $66,906. You'll save over $4,000 on each truck. Built to work, priced to move. Visit ChevyCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Chevrolet, together let's drive. See dealer for details. If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education or where your talents lie, the Michigan Army National Guard has most of the answers. Your participation in a few yearly training exercises will make you stronger and part of a patriotic team. You will also receive up to $50,000 in scholarships towards your education, including training and placement in exciting tech and medical fields. Build your future and support your country. Apply to miarmyguard.com. That's miarmyguard.com.
Have you ever thought about how simple it can be to make a big difference in a child's life? It's true. At Big Brothers Big Sisters, we believe in the power of take along a little. Imagine this. You're heading out for a day of fishing. Just you, your favorite spot, and the soothing sounds of nature. Why not take a child along with you? They might not know how to cast a line yet, but they're eager to learn, just like they're eager to spend time with you. Every moment you share, whether it's teaching them how to navigate the water, sharing stories, or just enjoying the quiet, builds their confidence and opens their world. You don't have to change your life to inspire a child's. Just invite them to be a part of your ordinary days. To join our village and make a lasting impact, visit bigsupnorth.org and find out how easy it is to become a mentor. Together, we can help our youth grow and thrive, one small outing at a time.
Summer might seem far off, but boat season starts now at Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake. They've got more than 50 boats in stock, ready to reserve today. And here's the kicker, lock in your price now before increases hit and before the boat show rush begins. Beat the crowd, skip the long wait lists, and secure your dream boat early. All it takes is a deposit to lock it down. Outdoor Equipment Co. in nearby Houghton Lake. Reserve your boat today and be ready for summer 2026.
Score Lions Thanksgiving Day tickets in Jay's Sporting Goods Touchdowns on Turkey Day giveaway. Jay's Sporting Goods in Gaylord and Clare are giving you the chance to score a pair of tickets for the Lions Thanksgiving Day game at Ford Field against the Packers November 27th, plus a $50 gas card. Stop by either Jay's Sporting Goods locations in Gaylord or Clare to scan the in-store QR code or go to q100michigan.com and register to win. You can register once per day and have until midnight on Sunday, October 26th, with the winner being announced live Monday, October 27th at 1 p.m. on our sister station, Q100 Michigan 100.3 WQON. There's no purchase necessary. For complete contest rules and details, click the Jay's Sporting Goods Touchdowns on Turkey Day graphic on the UpNorthSportsRadio.com homepage. From 101.1 WGRY Up North Sports Radio.
With falling leaves come falling prices at Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord. Right now, lease a 2025 GMC Sierra Double Cab for just $199 per month. Or step up to a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab for only $225 a month. These are 24-month, 10,000-mile per year leases and come with just $19.95 due at signing. See it all this fall in a brand new GMC. Visit GMCCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord today. See dealer for all details.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Rich Calkins and the Roadrunner studio with you this morning. And again, I mentioned it earlier, Roadrunner, JC, as I always say, out on assignment.
Yes.
And always appreciate you stepping in and running the board for me.
No problem. Hey, let's get some scores in here.
All right, let's do it right now. Coming into this week, our Sob Hop matchup of the week was the Boyne City at Charlevoix game, and that certainly did not disappoint as the homestanding Charlevoix Red Raiders continue their undefeated ways with a 13-12 win over Boyne City. What a matchup that was. This is two playoff teams heading in the right direction, and Boyne saw them against the Traverse City St. Francis team, and they battled them right down to the final whistle, and they're big. That's a team that has a lot of playoff experience, a very good team there for sure. Kingsley, they continue to roll, and they took it out on the Kalkaska Blue Devils 63-8 last night in Kalkaska. Going into that contest, Kalkaska had only lost 2 games. Things are heading in the right direction for Kalkaska, but Kingsley absolutely opened it up against them. Glen Lake and Grayling was a good game, 39-27, with Glen Lake coming out on the long end of that one with that win. Grayling was trying to put together back-to-back wins for the first time this season, but just couldn't quite do it there. We will talk to head coach Mike Kosaski around the 10:30 hour here this morning. A game that I called with J.J. Rowell last night. Traverse City West went down to the cornfields, as Coach McIntyre mentioned, against Bay City Western, and TC West was able to win 36-7, putting West in a pretty decent position now to get into the playoffs, but a win over TC Central on Friday night in that Patriot game would certainly seal the deal. In other contests, Traverse City Central, they hosted Bay City Central last night, and TC Central had the offense rolling with a 50-7 score against them. Gaylord wins. We are going to be getting a hold of Coach Matt Salisbury here in just a minute. They won 32-28 over St. John's. St. John's now 4-4, battling for their playoff game, so Gaylord remains undefeated. Ogama Heights still only has 1 loss with a 34-0 win over Sanford Meridian. Mansalona, the Ironmen, are 5-3. They may have just sealed their playoff endeavors for here, so good win there over Joburg, 44-6. Also, Gladwin, the Flying G's, beat up on Harrison and gave them only their second loss of the season with a big 63-30 score. Clare shut out Beaverton 56-0. And Gaylord St. Mary's, they play this afternoon. They host a 1-6 Holton team. So if you get a chance to see St. Mary's, watch them at their home field there downtown Gaylord. Onekaba did not get a score there, but McBain, they put 71 points on the board over Everett, 71-28. And also, East Jordan, how about that? They got their 5th win of the season with a big 25-14 win over the Frankfort Panthers. Huge win there for sure. So congratulations on some of those scores. And we're getting a hold of head coach Matt Salisbury here from the Gaylord Blue Devils.
Sounds good.
All right, here we do. We do have live the head coach of the Gaylord Blue Devils, Matt Salisbury. And Matt, you had another home game last night against a very tough St. John's team. Purely from the score, it looked like a real tight one with you guys winning 32-28.
Yeah, we knew coming into it that St. John's was going to give us their best game. They're a Capital Area Conference football team. They see, top-tier opponents every week, so. coming up from that area, we knew going into it that they were going to give us their best shot. And to be truthful, they had playoff hopes, hanging on the line.
Sure.
So you know that when you got that kind of opponent coming in, that you're going to get everything they have, and we were right. We got everything from them that we expected. Coming into it, we kind of started out a little slow. Halftime made some adjustments, come out, defensively and offensively, and we're able to put some points on the board, and at the very end of the game, get the go-ahead touchdown and come away with a hard-fought victory.
Yeah, and Coach, as I've been saying all year now, you guys are not afraid to play in close ball games. You guys have, obviously, you're undefeated. You've, a couple of games, 21-14. You won the overtime game against Marquette. Petoskey was a close game. And, of course, last week, that big win against Escanaba up there, that was a real quality win as well.
Sure, and it's a testament to the resilience of our kids on the football team. They work really hard, and they adapt, and they have the ability to adapt and overcome all at the same time. So I'm pretty proud of the effort. The close games, I say this week in and week out, we don't have a week off on our schedule. We've got a pretty tough schedule, whether it be a conference opponent or out-of-conference opponent. So, we have to come in prepared, and we got to be prepared to, have to overcome situations where maybe we start off a little slow, or maybe penalties or a turnover, and then we have to adapt and overcome those situations.
Right. Now, Coach, I don't know if you take time to look out, but me as a media member, I get to look into the future with potential playoff matchups, seeding, some things like that. Right now, with the schedule that you guys have played, and, of course, being 8-0 at this point, it looks like you guys are probably going to get a number 1 seed in Division III.
Certainly we hope to have at least a home game week 1.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we really just take it a week at a time, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. It's up to the MHSA and their playoff hearings on that Selection Sunday to, let us all know where we're at. It's certainly something that we're trying to project and look at, but you really, really don't know till, the dust settles on week 9 and see where the chips fall. So we're just going to take it a week at a time. We got to focus on the Sioux next week. We can't afford any costly mistakes. And then we'll figure out where we're at come playoffs.
Right. And Coach, I've been doing this long enough to know that you you go into week 9, and if you win, you're going to be playing this team and doing that, and all of a sudden there's always some surprises somewhere where a team kind of pops up that got a win that people weren't thinking about in that 1-4 matchup, and so it does change even until all the dust is settled after week 9.
Certainly, and the way the playoff pairings work now with the strength of schedule scoring and all of that all factors into that. So you never know. Obviously we're kind of looking at that, but again, we got to go a week at a time, focus on the task at hand, and, we'll get to the situation with the playoff pairings when that time comes, and then we'll see where we're at.
Yep. Coach, you've got Sault Ste. Marie, a team that's looking for their first win. It's certainly a game that you certainly don't want the team to look past, looking to the playoffs here for sure. They, like you said, stay focused and take care of the Sault Ste. Marie Blue Devils there.
Absolutely, and we're going to come in and prepare like we do every other week. We don't go into it and say, okay, this is this opponent and this is that. We're just going to do the same thing we do. It's been working thus far, and we're just going to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Coach, again, everything's who were some of the kids that stood out for you last night?
The overall defensive effort in the second half was spectacular. We came in, we made some adjustments at halftime that we needed to make to kind of slow down St. John's rushing attack, which was pretty potent in the first half. They were kind of hitting us with some big plays, and certainly, with a big play in the second half. But overall, the defensive effort in the second half was great. Jaron Benzinger stood out. The defensive line, and the DBs and their pass coverage. It was a great overall defensive team effort. Offensively, Kelson Snyder, the quarterback, did a great job moving the ball down the field for us and showed some real leadership.
Yeah, Coach, you've got, we've talked about this before as well. When you get a Benzinger in there, one of our former student athletes of the week just a few weeks ago, the kid, tough as nails, and certainly is kind of representative of what Gaylord football and what you want there at the helm for sure.
Absolutely, Jaron. He's one of the leaders on the team. He's a hardworking young man. He comes in every week and he puts in the effort and the time, and he really, strives to understand the game from an X's and O's standpoint so he can lead his teammates, on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, he's a factor in our running game. He's part of our 1-2 punch with Caven, and he's put a lot of work and effort into that side of the ball as well.
Yeah, Coach, so with that undefeated record, you're guaranteed at least a tie for the Big North Championship, and your first year at the helm of the Gaylord Blue Devils, that's a nice little feather in the cap for sure.
Certainly, and I really don't even look at it from the aspect of, honestly, I'm just one piece of the puzzle. It's really, the hard work of the young men that are part of the team. They come together and, they're out there playing for each other week in and week out. As coaches, we just come in and, kind of give them the framework to work within. And at the end of the day, to me, it's about, them having a good time and then getting something out of this season, to take with them off the field after they graduate.
Right. No, that's what it's all about, Coach. But also give yourselves, I know you won't pat yourself on the back, so I'll do it for you, Coach. But you built that, put together the coaching staff after they moved on, and then you got the helm there, and so you made some decisions, offensively with your, the play callers there and the offensive coordinators, defensive staff. So again, you built that staff to put yourself into this position right now.
Certainly, and it was all about, putting together, from a standpoint, you want to come in and you want to keep some consistency and some continuity there. And we did that with Coach Cat on the defensive side of the ball, who's a heck of a football coach, and all the assistants involved with him, Dan Bolter, Mark Miller, and, and Brad Benzinger, who helps with the outside linebackers. So, it was about keeping that continuity there because the defense has always been pretty stout.
Right.
Offensively, we had to bring in something, Coach Jernigan, Coach Bolter is part of the offensive line, and so is Coach Miller. And it was really just kind of building a philosophy around, our athletes. I'm not a big fan of square pegs, round holes, and just trying to fit it. It really, you have to build an offense, in my mind, around the skill set that you have. So, it was about doing those types of things. Again, I wanted to surround the kids with good people, and I believe that I've done that.
Yeah. No, Coach, you've done a really nice job in getting the kids to play hard for you. It shows on the field, and now it's obviously showing in the win-loss column. So you've got a good thing rolling there. So, and Matt, you're always gracious with your time, spending time with us on Saturday mornings when I text you on Friday to have you come on to our show. You're always willing to do that. So, and you're always willing to provide input on our National Guard Student Athlete of the Week as well. So I always appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, not a problem. I really appreciate the work that the media does for all the high school athletes in the area. It's a big thing, to get kids the recognition they deserve, the recognition for the hard work that they put in the off season. It doesn't matter what the outcome of the season is. All of the kids involved in every program in the area, they all work really hard to get to where they're at. So, and my hat's off to the people in the media like yourselves that do, the coverage, that provide the coverage that you do.
Well, thanks, Coach. I appreciate that. Keep up the good work. It's a whole lot easier, Coach, when you got a great thing rolling like that. So we're going to ride the back of you guys for as long as we can here.
Well, thank you. Go Blue Devils.
All right, go Blue Devils. Yeah. Coach Matt Salisbury, thank you very much.
Yep, bye.
All right, Rich. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Salisbury is one of those guys that took over the Gaylord program and has done a great job, obviously, now with an 8-0 record. So, yeah, got things rolling around. He's got the right perspective. It's all about the kids, and he's done a great job there for sure.
That's right.
So, when we come back, we will have the announcement of the National Guard Student Athlete of the Week for last week's performance. You are listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernick, GMC in Gaylord.
It's time for the Up North Sports Radio Northern Michigan Trail Report, brought to you by your Michigan Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit. OutdoorEquipCO.com. Toro, count on it.
Visit us on upnorthsportsradio.com for more information on how to ride safe this fall.
This has been your Up North Sports Radio Northern Michigan Trail Report, brought to you by your Michigan Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit. OutdoorEquipCo.com. Toro, count on it. Mowing the yard will no longer be a chore with a Toro Time Cutter, built to tackle big jobs while fitting in small spaces with zero-turn maneuverability. Getting on and off the mower is a breeze with a step-through front end. Comfort comes standard with a seat that provides the ultimate in padding and back support. The Toro Time Cutter is available in a variety of deck sizes and special features. Head to your local Toro authorized dealer, Outdoor Equipment Co. in Houghton Lake, Lansing, and Detroit, or visit OutdoorEquipmentCo.com. Toro, count on it. With falling leaves come falling prices at Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord. Right now, lease a 2025 GMC Sierra Double Cab for just $199 per month. Or step up to a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab for only $225 a month. These are 24-month, 10,000-mile per year leases and come with just $19.95 due at signing. See it all this fall in a brand new GMC. Visit GMCCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord today. See dealer for all details.
Hi folks, Jim Jeffries for Michigan Trailers in Traverse City, Northern Michigan's value leader in utility trailer sales. It's fall clearance time again. We're loaded with trailers from America's top manufacturers. Save big while we clear some space before the snow flies. With hundreds in stock, all clearly marked with sale prices, you'll find the right one at the right price to solve your hauling needs. See us today on US 31 South, across from Menards, Traverse City, or visit us online at MichiganTrailers.com.
Here at Pioneer Hills Marine in Roscommon, summer has flown by, and sadly, it's time to start preparing for winterizing your boat. If you're someone who likes to do it yourself, Pioneer Hills Marine has all the winterizing supplies you need. Or, if you'd rather spend more time with your friends and family, bring it to us and we can do it for you. Pioneer Hills Marine now offers fall detailing. Get your boat detailed before you put it away so it's all ready to go come spring. Pioneer Hills Marine, making memories priceless.
Hey sports fans, it's EC from the Insane Asylum on Q100 Michigan. Scare up your most original Halloween costume for Odawa Casino's Halloween Bash, Saturday, October 26th. I'll be judging the costume contest and giving away hundreds in cash prizes. There's music, dancing, drink specials, and more than you can shake a scapula at. Get to Victory Sports and Entertainment for Odawa's Halloween Bash, Saturday, October 25th. Doors open at 8 from Up North Sports Radio.
If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education or where your talents lie, the Michigan Army National Guard has most of the answers. Your participation in a few yearly training exercises will make you stronger and part of a patriotic team. You will also receive up to $50,000 in scholarships towards your education, including training and placement in exciting tech and medical fields. Build your future and support your country. Apply to miarmyguard.com. That's miarmyguard.com.
Need serious work trucks at serious savings? Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord has you covered. Right now, get a 2025 Silverado 2500 HD with a Redding service body for just $61,867. Or step up to a 2025 Silverado 3500 HD regular cab with a 9-foot dump body for only $66,906. You'll save over $4,000 on each truck. Built to work, price to move. Visit ChevyCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Chevrolet, together let's drive. See dealer for details.
It's time to announce the Michigan Army National Guard Student Athlete of the Week here on Up North Sports Radio. If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education, build your future, and support your country, apply to miarmyguard.com. miarmyguard.com.
Hi, this is Sergeant Bo Dutton with the Michigan Army National Guard, the recruiter with Sergeant Klein for the Grayling area. I'm proud to announce that the Michigan Army National Guard Student Athlete of the Week is Miles Mead of the Grayling High School Vikings. Congrats, Miles. I'll be stopping by Grayling High School with some National Guard swag just for you. Visit miarmyguard.com to set your career in motion.
Congratulations to the Michigan Army National Guard Student Athlete of the Week here on Up North Sports Radio's High School Scoreboard Show. If you're worried about the cost of continuing your education, build your future, and support your country, apply to miarmyguard.com.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Rich Calkins and the Roadrunner in this morning, and joining us now is the head coach of the Grayling Vikings, Mike Kosowski. And Mike, you weren't able to hear it, but we made the announcement of the National Guard Student Athlete of the Week was Miles Mead, of course, your starting quarterback for his efforts in that Kalkaska game.
Oh, that's fantastic, and then I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Some of the stats that Miles that you sent to me, Coach, what incredible effort there. 14 for 20, 172 yards and 1 TD through the air, 25 carries, 237 yards and 3 TDs on the ground. You know, with that big 38-15 win at that time over previously once beaten Kalkaska.
Yeah, that's correct. Miles had a fantastic game. He's a tough competitor, and just to tweak a little bit, obviously those are our night stats, and then I have a great stats guy in Tim Zagilla, and he does great with us. But obviously at the end of the day, we want to make sure they're all right. But he was 14 completions for 19 and 210 yards passing.
Oh wow!
And he was very accurate on the yards. It's 237 yards rushing and 26 attempts. So Miles had a fantastic game, and it's a testament to our offensive line as well. Because all those guys on the line were blocking over 85%. So we did a fantastic job in that game.
Yeah, for sure, Coach. Like you said, you get your line played to, battle at an 80% proficiency thing. That's a good number for sure. You'll win a lot of games when you're able to have your blocking assignments be that successful.
That's correct.
Yeah. Coach, switching gears, that was the Guardian game as well with Kalkaska. That's always got a little extra oomph to it as well.
Yeah, that's correct. And so it's a game that we always look forward to because obviously being in Grayling and being a military town with a base here, it's something that we enjoy doing. And we have, many kids that have parents, relatives that are in the military. We have a few guys in our teams that plan on going in the military as well. They were our captains that game. So also another young man that's going into being an EMT. And he does that stuff during the JV game. So it's great to honor those guys and respect those guys and do those things.
Right. And so with that, what was said by the recorded piece by the recruiter from the Michigan National Guard is that he'll be stopping by the school to talk to Miles, bring him some cool swag, all that different stuff there. So that's a really awesome thing that the National Guard sponsors that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Coach, okay, looking at sitting at 2-6, you have a very tough Shepherd team at home to close out the season.
We do, and obviously we've already been looking into Shepherd and trying to prepare for that game too. Obviously with a tough season, we still look forward to the next week and preparing for that. And they are a tough team. They're another playoff caliber team. I mean, if you look at our schedule, that's one thing. If you want to be the best or be able to prepare for the best, you want to play the best. And most of our teams that we have lost to, they're all playoff caliber teams, and that's fine with us. It just makes us better, and it's going to prepare the guys in the future as well.
Yeah, Coach, looking at the records that a lot of 6-win teams already so far through 8 games is who was on your schedule, and certainly had a very tough schedule in your first year as the head coach of the Grayling Vikings.
Yep, and that's okay. Like I said, it just prepares us for the next year, and our kids have been responding very well. Like even in this game against Glen Lake, we got behind early, and that kind of hurt us. And instead of being able to identify our run game, we had to go to the air, which is okay as well.
Right.
We were down early in the half, and when we came out, we clawed our way back, and we just missed on a couple opportunities, and that's what kind of happens, in the game of football. So
yeah, Coach, and talking to a lot of coaches like I have through the years, that's the thing. You get down early, and sometimes when you had the goal of maybe running the ball quite a bit through the game, but you're behind, and you need to try to make up some points quickly, so it takes you out of what maybe your game plan was all week. It forces you to do some things maybe you just really didn't want to do necessarily.
Yeah, correct. But a testament to Miles too. Like he not only can he run the ball, but he can pass the ball. In Glen Lake he had 310 yards passing. So instead of maybe running the ball like he usually does for us, he showed his arm, and we continue to have our receiving core do really, really well, make amazing catches. Austin Schwartz, he continues to amaze people with his catches, and even when he's double teamed, he's able to get loose and catch the football. So there are bright spots in our season. We do have dudes on the field. It just happens to be that, what we say is we shoot ourselves in the foot early, and we have to do things that, like you said, we don't plan for, but in the end, we do try to claw our way back.
Yeah, and there's always, Coach, no matter what the record is, all that, there's just so many different lessons that you guys will learn again as your first year as a head coach, but also all these kids, the seniors will take with them all of that'll be a lifelong thing that they'll hang on to from those learning lessons that you've put through practices, through the games, and just hanging out with their friends.
Oh, for sure. And, that's, it's always bigger than the game of football, and it's always bigger than the wins. We had an interview with MHSA this year with Daniel Hunter, and
yes.
That's one of the things that he reiterated, and so did I. And the boys do. They come prepared each week, and it's not like they slack off or do anything like that. Like I said, they miss on a couple opportunities, and that's what happens. But they're going to learn so much from the game of football, and they're going to be doing great things past football. So that's what's more important.
Right, and for our listeners out there, that's something you can still access on MHSAA.com, and you put in the Grayling school you're looking for at Grayling, and that's one of the first things that pops up is that cool article about your team, about Daniel Hunter, about some different things. So that's really well done and a great publicity for the Grayling Vikings.
Yeah, and as the Gaylor coach reiterated, you guys do an excellent job of getting our name out, and so does MHSA. That was a really cool thing to do. So many kids face adversity throughout their high school career, and it's great to let people know what's going on and showing kids that just because you have something happen to you doesn't mean that you can't come back the next year stronger and better.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, Mike, we always appreciate you joining us here on the Scoreboard Show. Best of luck next week against Shepherd. Let's close out the season with a big-time win.
Yeah, that's the plan, and go Vikings. I appreciate it, Rich.
All right, you bet. Go Vikes.
Go Vikes.
All right, Mike Kosowski, first-year head coach for the Grayling Vikings, taking over for Eric Tunney when Eric decided to hang up the coaching cleats.
And I'll tell you what, last night boarding the game for the Vikings, they came out in that third and fourth period and showed a complete turnaround drive.
Right.
Miles Mead, yes, in the lead,
sure.
And just the rest of the team, it was like, whoa, we got a game going here, Rich.
Yeah. Good. No, that's showing some heart to battle back there for sure.
Yep, fighting their way back.
Yeah, no doubt about it, against a very good Glen Lake team, that's for sure. So, all right. So when we come back, we will have a recorded interview with head coach James Wagner from Traverse City West. As West, as I mentioned earlier, came up with a 36-7 win down at Bay City Western. You are listening to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernig, GMC in Gaylord.
Attention business owners and contractors. Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord has 3 2025 Chevrolet Express 2500 cargo vans in stock, and they must go. Save up to $5,000 per van with prices starting at just $42,438. That is serious capability at a price that works as hard as you do. Hurry! Only 3 available, and when they're gone, they're gone. Visit ChevyCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Chevrolet, together let's drive. See dealer for details.
Just like Northern Michigan High School athletes, Saab relies on trust, drive, and expertise. Those are the values it takes to have a winning season, and the same values that power Saab's mission, keeping people and society safe. Hi, I'm David Howley, Project Manager for Saab in Northern Michigan. Saab is dedicated to being a responsible neighbor, a reliable employer, a steward of the environment, and a proud supporter of Northern Michigan High School athletics. Saab in Northern Michigan.
Think you know football? Go head-to-head for prizes with the Traverse City Record Eagles' own pro, senior sports writer James Cook. Pick your winners for every Sunday NFL matchup at record-eagle.com. If you beat James, you'll be entered to win a weekly prize from our Record Eagle sponsors. Make your picks each week, plus get contest rules and details at record-eagle.com/NFL Pick'em. Can you show up one of Northern Michigan's most trusted sports voices? James Cook's NFL Sunday Pick'em at record-eagle.com.
This October, Fridays are game time with Pass for a Purpose at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Every Friday from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., 2 guests every hour will go head-to-head in a live football throwing challenge. The top scorer wins $500 in premium play, and runner-up takes home $250. Pass, play, and help us make a difference for the American Cancer Society. Go for the end zone and win your share of $38,000 in premium play. Only at Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saginaw-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
One of the great dining traditions returns to Benetham's, the monthly theme menu. Rich Oktoberfest flavors include the addictive Reuben egg rolls, creamy Alpen chicken sauté, and a delicious traditional Wiener Schnitzel. Pair that with a seasonal craft beer or a lovely Riesling and take a dining trip to Bavaria at Benetham's. Of course, the 4 to 6 p.m. happy hour continues, as well as the truly excellent monthly wine dinner. Visit Benethams.com and reserve your table today. Benetham's, for the true love of food.
Has a sports injury slowed you down? Hi, I'm Dr. Grant Carey, an orthopedic surgeon at Munson Orthopedic Institute. Specially trained in sports medicine and an athlete myself, I'm committed to helping athletes like you recover from debilitating injuries. Are you ready to get back to your favorite sport? I'm here to support your recovery with expert care. Visit me at Munson Orthopedic Institute in Prudenville, where I'm accepting new patients. Get started by requesting your consultation at munsonhealthcare.org/MOI.
With falling leaves come falling prices at Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord. Right now, lease a 2025 GMC Sierra Double Cab for just $199 per month. Or step up to a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab for only $225 a month. These are 24-month, 10,000-mile per year leases and come with just $1995 due at signing. See it all this fall in a brand new GMC. Visit GMCCentral.com or stop by Jim Wernig GMC in Gaylord today. See dealer for all details.
Welcome back to the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord. Rich Calkins and the Roadrunner in with you this morning. And one thing I definitely wanted to bring up was the hot matchup of the week, brought to you by Saab. Trust, drive, and expertise in Northern Michigan. And what we're going to do for this upcoming week, you can't go anywhere different than obviously the Patriot game coming up on Friday night. Traverse City West versus Traverse City Central. Traverse City Central setting at 5-3. TC West setting at 4-4, battling for their playoff lives. So that will be our hot matchup of the week. Brought to you by Saab, keeping people safe through strength in Northern Michigan. And also, I wanted to mention here, appreciate you, Roadrunner, filling in. We do have a hard out at 11 o'clock.
Yes, we do.
That Michigan football game pregame will kick in right at 11 a.m. So we could be in the middle of a sentence and they just take over the airwaves.
That's what happens in radio.
So that's right. When it's time, it's time, baby. So what we do have is a recorded interview with head coach from Traverse City West, James Wagner. And so let's listen to that, some of his thoughts after that 36-7 win. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner, brought to you by Michigan Trailers. Rich Calkins along with head coach James Wagner of Traverse City West. And Coach, a nice 36-7 win down here at Bay City Western, keeping those playoff hopes alive. And overall, you wanted to play a more consistent game. The team did that here tonight.
Yeah, I thought so too. First half was definitely exactly how we wanted it to be. And third quarter, we came out a little sluggish. And, I think there was a lull there that, we were trying to address as a team as a whole. And, we kind of got after them there as the transitioned into the fourth quarter. And we got to play 4 quarters all the way through.
Sure.
And, we're on the brink of doing that. And I thought we were as close as if we have been all season to being able to do that. And, yeah, I'm proud of the way that we finished that game. We were able to run the football tonight effectively. And our O-line, who, has been going through the works here of just kids that are interchanging a lot, and we're getting new people in there each week, and they stepped up big tonight. And there's a lot of kids in there that have got playing time that hasn't seen a lot of football this season, and we've had some guys go down, and they're stepping in and starting to figure out their roles in it and doing it at the right time. So really proud of the offensive line tonight and just the way that they were able to execute. A lot of good positive things that came out of it, so good stuff.
Yeah, because they opened up the holes for Cam Mink, the senior running back, to unofficially 142 yards.
Great.
And a touchdown, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack, and a QB hit.
Yeah.
Braden Tillman, 8 for 15, 137 yards, 2 TDs through the air, carried the ball 5 times for 33 yards. I mean, it's good. That Russian attack, Esper, 4 carries for 25 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like you said, really, probably except for going back maybe first couple of games or so in the season, really the most consistent Russian attack, I think, tonight. In a while.
Yeah, we're starting to find our groove there, which is great. And I'm proud of the way Cam is. He's so he's just such a power back for the kid his size.
I know
he just lays the wood, and it's fun to watch him. Defensively, he does that too. I mean, he does. He's not afraid to hit. He's not afraid of contact, and he is just he's fun to watch. And Braden does his part, and Drew will do his part as well. And you got different ways to get guys the ball. I think Leland rushed for probably around 40 or 50 yards there himself, and we got some good players back there that can handle the ball, which makes us tough to defend. Especially too. Drew gets 3 or 4 catches and close to 100 yards there, and he's dynamic in space, and so you got to prepare for us in multiple ways. But I mean, very, very proud of just the O-line of opening up those holes and allowing those kids to have success, being able to pound it down their throats. I felt like I called the same play in one drive probably 12 times because I just kind of was like, you know what, we're going to run this until
they stop it.
Yes. And a line takes pride in that. And
they do.
And when we're moving the chains, the running backs take pride in that too. And they come off and they're like, Coach, keep running that. And I was like, yeah, I'm planning on it.
Offensive line loves to come off the ball and push guys. And when you're starting to impose your will on another human being, you're like, Coach, dial that up again, man.
Yep, totally. So, it was fun to do that. And it's fun for those guys to, feel that feeling of just, being able to steamroll somebody. So that's positive things.
It is. Dylan Dunklow had a nice game.
He did.
8 tackles, an INT, 2 passes defense.
Yeah.
Sawyer Kirshner, 4 tackles, an INT, a pass defense as well.
Yep.
Overall, just it was good. Aiden Jacobs, good to get him back. He seems a little more healthy now and all that. High pointed the ball in the end zone. He outjumped the DB and bodied him off, and just nice job by him.
Yep, definitely. I mean, Aiden is healthy again, which is great. The DBs tonight, played really well. I thought Sawyer played really well. He had, he's come along as a sophomore, and he's starting to find his groove. And just a couple times of him breaking up those passes on his pass, just like when he cuts to come down on his path to defend the ball, he does a really good job of that, and he's just going to be a heck of a player moving forward.
He is, for sure. So it gets to that point, Coach. We need to name the Fox Motors Motivated Player of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think Cam Mink, deserves probably the player of the game tonight in terms of Fox Motors, and I'd say Jimmy Johns should go to Sawyer.
Okay.
I think both those guys, played really well. Cam with 142 yards rushing and a touchdown, and what he did on defense tonight was really special to watch. So, happy to give it to him. Not sure if he's won it before or not. I know he's won one of them. I'm not sure which one.
Right.
But, and then Sawyer, with Travis and Heather being parents there, they'll enjoy some Jimmy Johns subs. So
excellent. So congratulations to Cam Mink as the Fox Motors Motivated Player of the game, and the Jimmy Johns Player of the game is Sawyer Kirshner, and along with his parents being the parents of the game.
Yeah, they'll enjoy it.
Right.
Travis and Heather.
Okay,
subs.
Awesome, Coach. We know that Traverse City Central won big tonight against Bay City Central, so it sets up the matchup for the Patriot game. It's such a great contest every year. We've won 2 in a row now, right?
We've won 2 in a row in terms of the game itself. Yes. And it's going to be. I mean, we are pretty evenly matched when you look at scores across the league and things that they do, and they're better than they have been in the previous 2 years. And it's going to be a good game, and it's make or break your season, right?
It is.
It's if you don't win this one, you're pretty upset, and people are upset at you for 365 days, and until you get to play it again, and so it's we know the point, we know the what's at stake, and I think the kids know that what's at stake. We talked about that in the huddle here tonight, and I told them, just said,
great job of being able to come down and do what you needed to do in order to put yourself in the position that you need to be in going into next week in order to try and propel yourselves into the playoffs here. And, win or lose, we might still be in the playoffs regardless with our schedule. And I know Grand Blanc was taking it to
Davidson, yes.
I'm telling you, Grand Blanc was, that was a really, really good team that we saw that night. And,
it sure was.
I mean, again, I don't know how all the other rest of the scores came out tonight, but I mean, our record against those teams that we've lost to were 26-2, and we've played really tough teams throughout this year, and I know Central has too, and we're both battle tested going into week 9, and gosh, this is what you play high school football for.
It is.
Right?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's going to be a dicey week of weather next week, and our kids are going to play in the rain, and you couldn't ask for anything more. So
that's right. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us on the Michigan Trailers post-game show. Congratulations on the big win, and we'll talk Thursday.
Sounds good. Thanks for having
me.
All
right, James Wagner, appreciate it there. All right, there you go, James Wagner. Obviously very happy after that big win last night, and again, the Patriot game on Friday night looms huge at Thurlby Field. Always a great turnout for that event, for sure, honoring all kinds of first responders and veterans throughout the land. So we truly appreciate everything that they do and have done for us to have the freedoms that we do. So, again, appreciate you stepping in here, Roadrunner, to help out here.
I'm good at pushing buttons, right?
Yeah, that's yes, you are. Yeah, in more ways than one. There, Roadrunner. You're doing a good job there, buddy. I really do appreciate you coming in.
Oh, no problem.
There are again, we do have a hard out right at 11 o'clock because of the Michigan pregame.
Yep, coming right
They take
up.
over, big noon kickoff there against the University of Washington Huskies. Should be a close, tight ball game. The Huskies have a really athletic little quarterback. He's like a little scat back, runs all over the place. Yep. Probably a better runner than he is a thrower right now. But that kid's an athlete, and that he will certainly test that Michigan defense for sure. But getting back to just a few other scores I wanted to go over before we get out of here. I did not mention earlier. But Escanaba, they continue their winning ways. Their only loss this year was against Gaylord, and so they got back. They beat Alpena 39-6, so good win for them. Let me see. Clare, they dominated Beaverton 56-0. I mentioned that East Jordan Frankfort game in a battle of really good teams, perennial players in the postseason, with East Jordan beating Frankfort 25-14. That's a good win for East Jordan. McBain, they did open it up against Everett, 71-28.
Wow.
You put, because after a 35-point lead, there is a running clock.
Yep.
And when it's hard to score a lot of points once you get beyond that 35 mark, but teams still do it. They're able to score in bunches. Gladwin, they scored in bunches against Harrison last night with a 63-30 win. Houghton Lake, they've got another win. They've had a few wins this year. Good for them. They beat cross-county rival Roscommon just a few weeks ago, and then they beat Lake City last night 34-8. We talked about the Ironmen from Mansalona with another win as they beat Joburg Lewiston. Joburg is going through a little rebuilding phase the last few years, but Mansalona got that 44-6 win. Also, let's see if there's a Petoskey. They shut out Sault Ste. Marie 42-0. And let's see here, continuing down. How about Mayo, the Thunderbolts in little 8-man football? 72-6 over Bel Air. Wow, what a game that was there. So, all right, that is going to pretty much wrap things up here.
I had fun. Did you have fun
I did
today?
have fun, yeah.
Always great in sports.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Enjoy it and enjoy the Michigan broadcast coming up. We're going to go back to Infinity Sports just for a few minutes, I believe, before the Michigan pregame takes over. But JC and I will be right back here next Saturday morning, right at 10 o'clock. We appreciate you joining us for the Northern Michigan Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Wernig Chevrolet in Gaylord.
This has been the Northern Michigan High School Sports Scoreboard Show, brought to you in part by Jim Warnick GMC in Gaylord, dedicated to the best customer service and the best offers. Join us next Saturday at 10 with host Rich Calkins. Nobody loves high school sports like Up North Sports Radio.
Insurance. Call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the costs of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Left wing, a three for the win.
They score! Quarterback run up the middle.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Michigan Sports Network.